In the opening scene of the movie, in a picturesque vineyard in Sicily, we meet a ruthless crime lord named Lorenzo Vitale, who stumbles upon a set of dead bodies from his bodyguard. There, he confronts a mysterious figure, Robert McCall, sitting down with a gun pointing at his head, surrounded by Lorenzo and 3 of his bodyguards. Robert seems to have taken matters into his own hands to recover something stolen from him. Some few words were exchanged, which quickly turned into a violent confrontation, leading to McCall's decisive victory over Vitale and his henchmen. McCall departs from the vineyard with a bag containing his recovered prize. However, on his way out, he comes across a young witness and has his gun pointed out when he quickly releases it, just a child, and decides to let him leave. This seems to be a terrible mistake, as the young witness, who is Vitale's adolescent grandson and a witness to the confrontation, shoots McCall in the leg before fleeing the scene. Robert considers suicide due to his injury, but finds his gun out of bullets and then takes the ferry to go back to the mainland. While driving on the Amalfi coast, Robert pulls over and slips into unconsciousness from shock, where, in a twist of fate, McCall is discovered by Officer Gio Benucci, who takes him to the local town doctor, Enzo Aricio. To protect McCall, Enzo decides to provide a cover story, stating that McCall's injuries were the result of a fall. As McCall recuperates, he gets acquainted with the locals and becomes fond of the town and its people, becoming part of the close-knit community of Altomonte. He also forges friendships with Gio and his daughter Gabby, and the cafe's welcoming employee, Amina. McCall, however, is haunted by memories of his late friend Susan Plummer and the violent events at the vineyard. Seeking answers and justice, McCall contacts Emma Collins, an operative with the DIA. He shares critical information about the incident in Sicily, leading Collins to investigate further. Accompanied by her partner Frank Conroy, Collins discovers a stash of 11 million euros and a substantial quantity of narcotics at the vineyard. With McCall's guidance, she pieces together the puzzle and realizes there is more to this situation than meets the eye. Robert overhears Marco Quaranta, a high-ranking Camorra member, pressurizing local store owner Angelo for payments. To make an example, the Camorra firebombs Angelo's fish store as the entire town watches. Benucci reviews the video of the firebombing and calls the Italian Central Police for an inquiry. Along with his wife and daughter, Benucci is later attacked by the Camorra and beaten for interfering in their operations. Meanwhile, the members of the Camorra harass and kill villagers in an attempt to coerce them out of their housing and take over Altomonte for commercialization purposes. In Altomonte, the town's peace is disrupted by the oppressive Camorra, led by the vicious Marco Quaranta and his brother Vincent. The Camorra terrorizes the town, engaging in extortion and violence to further their interests. A brutal act of intimidation involving the hanging of a wheelchair-bound man underscores the Camorra's influence. Collins, who remains in contact with McCall, begins to unravel a larger, more sinister plan. She suspects that the terrorist attack in Rome, initially attributed to Syrian extremists, is part of a grander scheme. However, her pursuit of the truth leads her to a near-fatal incident. Sometime after, Marco demands that Benucci set up a boat for them. Overhearing them, Robert requests them to move their operations to a different location. As the Camorra tightens its grip on Altomonte, McCall takes matters into his own hands, confronting Marco and his goons to protect the town's residents. He issues a chilling warning to Marco, forcing the gang to retreat. A thrilling showdown unfolds, with McCall ultimately prevailing. The Naples head of police is threatened and tortured by Vincent, Marco's brother and head of the Camorra, to find the person behind Marco's death. Vincent has Collins' car rigged with a bomb, but she survives after Robert warns her. Vincent later threatens to shoot Benucci in front of the entire town if Robert does not reveal himself. Robert does, but before Vincent can kill him, the citizens begin to record the ordeal, causing Vincent and the rest of the Camorra to retreat with plans to retaliate the following day. When Vincent seeks revenge, McCall relentlessly tracks down the Camorra, dispatching them one by one. His pursuit culminates in a deadly confrontation with Vincent, who meets a chilling end after a lethal dose of the stolen drugs, becoming a victim of McCall's calculated revenge. Later that night, Robert infiltrates Vincent's home and stealthily kills his bodyguards. Then, Robert forces Vincent to take a lethal dose of his own drugs to kill him. Through Collins, Robert returns the money he had taken from the winery to an elderly couple's pension fund. Back in Langley, Virginia, Collins receives a promotion for her role in ending the Altamonte drug trade. She finds a note from Robert congratulating her and declaring her mother would be proud of her, revealing Collins to be the daughter of Robert's longtime friend and colleague, Susan Plummer. With the Quaranta brothers dead, Robert celebrates with the locals after their team wins a football tournament. In the aftermath, Altamonte experiences a newfound sense of security as the Camorra is vanquished.